Say a personal thank you for being here on time and looking radiant from all around the world. Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you give yourselves and everyone who's got us here a huge round of applause. We're here. We're ready. And that's not the only good news. The other good news is we're being joined from around the world online as well. On a very personal note, my relief and the good news for me personally is that I'm going to be co-piloting with a phenomenal co-host who is also here. I can see her over here. Shivani Tapper's here, everyone. Morning, Shivani. So we'll be doing the formalities very shortly, but we're almost all met. Thank you for being on time. Please take this opportunity to say hello to your neighbor or the person in front of you or behind you. Wait. In a second, when we start, we can't stop. Only to say, we have some breaking news. It had been rumored, and we are quietly confident it is official. We are to be joined this morning by none other than the Prime Minister of Nepal himself. Yeah. And that clearly is a tremendous honor. We're hugely grateful for his presence and his support, and it means we're even more grateful to you for being on time and for bearing with us as we get the Prime Minister into the building and up in front of our honored guests. So enjoy the morning. I think we'll be starting within about 10 or 15 minutes. On behalf of the IAPB and all of our wonderful partners, you are very welcome indeed. I'll see you on stage very shortly. Thank you.
In an uncertain world, new challenges emerge while old barriers persist. But amidst the uncertainty, there's always a way forward, a chance to lead the way, to turn challenges into opportunities. As iHealth leaders, governments, researchers, innovators, experts, and communities, we gather to strategize together, to secure the future for iHealth, to shape action for impact and achieve a world where no one experiences unnecessary or preventable sight loss, and everyone can achieve their full potential, where eye care and rehabilitation services are accessible, inclusive, and affordable to everyone, everywhere, wherever they are needed, where people understand the importance of caring for their own eye health and demand access to services free from the weight of any social stigma. A world where everyone has the eye care they need. So let's get to work. Welcome to Nepal.
Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, honored guests, good morning. Namaste. Welcome to 2030 Insight Live 2025. Well, whether you're joining us here in Kathmandu in the beautiful country of Nepal, or whether you're tuning in or catching up online, wherever you've come from, whichever organization you represent, welcome. By show of hands, can I have a sense of for whom this is your first 2030 Insight Live? Raise your hand, you're welcome. Everyone else, give them a round of applause. Welcome. And by show of hands, everybody, welcome. If you're returning, this is not your first rodeo, welcome back. Welcome back, and thank you. You have traveled thousands of miles to be with us, and this is going to be a fantastic opening ceremony, and indeed a packed couple of days, all on the theme of the prevention of blindness. We'll hear a lot even in this opening session. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome to our stage here a co-host, a broadcaster who needs very little introduction here in Nepal, and she will be leading us through today's opening ceremony. Please give a very warm 2030 Insight Live welcome to Shivani Thapa.
Thank you, Oli. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a profound pleasure and delight it is to be joining this highly, highly energetic and spirited co-host. And the only thing that I was thinking of and that got me worried backstage is whether I can match up with this spirit and rhythm. I'm sure you're gonna cooperate.
Well, don't forget, Shivani, I've been building up to this for 4 years. I've got to know and love this incredible community of changemakers, and you sensed my enthusiasm when we met, didn't you?
Oh, yes. Oh, I cannot deny that. And of course, Oli, from Singapore's skylines to Mexico's pulses, you've been there, nailed it, and you're here in the Kathmandu leg, which I believe, you're here in the city of temples, mountains, Momo. Please don't miss on that.
Yes, Momo. Now, are those the dumplings, Shivani?
Yes. It's a diplomatic protocol and a mandatory thing. You can skip your flight, but not the Momos while you're here in Kathmandu.
Okay, so Momo is a go-go. Okay, right, fine.
All right, so we just hope and believe that Kathmandu leg of, how do you do this? 2030 Insight Live. Yeah. Pretty unique, right?
Yeah, so this is about a bold vision. It's about uniting, bringing people together, breaking down silos. So what you'll see is guests and speakers from, we'll hear formally later, but certainly over 40 countries around the world. Even the speaker roster is over 150 change makers in their own right. What always delights me is to see new alliances being forged, but the warmth of our hosts here. Honor guests, wouldn't you agree we've had the most world-class welcome here in Nepal? It's been incredible, hasn't it?
And as hosts, ladies and gentlemen, if this convergence and this opportunity for us as hosts to extend our hospitality to you is a profound opportunity for us, an honor in fact, but also it is an opportunity for us to reiterate our commitment for ensuring eye health.
Thank you, Shivani. Now, I would love to stay here chatting. However, I realize we have some extremely important guests to get up onto the stage before we welcome, and I've slightly given the game away about who our VVIP guest is. But Shivani, I know we're in very safe hands. Welcome to our opening ceremony, everyone. Let me leave you in the very capable hands of Shivani Thapa. Shivani, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Oli. That's only gets me some opportunity herein to extend, all we have for the inaugural ceremony is formalities, but formalities that come with purpose and meaning. Ladies and gentlemen, please note as I say the presence or the attendance of the head of the government here in Nepal, also the head of the ministries, and the high-level representatives from all the stakeholder community in itself is a gesture of the sensitivity and the commitment that the government of Nepal holds for the chase that we all together are making together as we head forth towards 2030. So one more time, allow me, on behalf of the host and IAPB, to extend you the warmest of welcome to the very, very inaugural moments of 2030 inside Nepal. This is, as you all know, a flagship event by the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, which we all are aware, an alliance that spans across 100+ countries and unites more than 250 organizations with a shared vision. A shared vision which we aspire to create a world where everyone has access to quality, affordable, and inclusive eye care. And trust me, this ground where we are converged is home to where you can make a lot of takeaways for the stories that we've created, for the achievements, the failures, the learnings, and whatnot that our pioneers, stalwarts, and champions, together with all of you, have created for us to share with the world. So thank you for turning up. Thank you for your very, very valuable presence. For now, allow me to advance with the formalities of the inaugural ceremony as we await the arrival of our Right Honourable Chief Guest. Ladies and gentlemen, as I stated earlier, we are graced in and joined in by the stalwarts as well as the policy the leaders here in Nepal, which not only elates us, but is an impetus added to our efforts already underway. So please join me as I take this opportunity to invite up on stage our honourable guests to be seated up on the dais. My pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to invite up on stage the Honourable Minister of Health and Population, Mr. Pradeep Paudel, who will be joining us shortly. And as I understand, he is in the adjoining room, ready to receive the Right Honourable Chief Guest. Please join me as I welcome up on the dais Ms. Caroline Cassie, the President of International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, IAPB. A leader in true sense, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to Ms. Cassie, a warm welcome to you up here on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I invite upon stage Mr. Peter Holland, Chief Executive Officer, International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness. Accompanied by Professor Dr. Chaitraj Panta, Chairman, Nepal Netra Jyoti Sangh. There's also the Board of Trustees, International Agency for Prevention of Blindness. We'll be joined in by Professor Dr. Madan Prasad Upadhyaya, Chairman Emeritus, BPI Foundation. Please join me as I invite upon stage Professor Dr. Sanduk Ruet, Executive Director, Tilganga Institute of Ophthalmology. Ladies and gentlemen, please join your hands for the Honourable Minister for Health, Mr. Pradeep Paudel, as he graces us at this very, very inaugural moment. We extend our bit of gratitude for this very, very gracious presence to the Honourable Minister. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, as I invite upon stage Dr. Gopal Prasad Pokhrel, Chairman, Nepal Eye Hospital. Along with UN Ambassador, His Excellency Mr. Walton Alfonso Webson. Pardon me for this glitch, ladies and gentlemen, since this is a very, very eventful time in Nepal owing to some national calls. We have had a brief change in the order of the events that we had lined up for the inaugural ceremony. So that was what I was confirming right here. So we shall have a slight change in the order of the activities while keeping all the activities intact. I just request our distinguished guests and to all the guests present here to kindly bear with us with all these changes herein. Said that, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to acknowledge the very, very distinguished presence of our very important guests who are in attendance here and request them to be seated in the front row, namely Dr. Bikash Devkota, ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary from the Ministry of Health and Population of Nepal, Mr. Hari Prasad Mainali, Secretary at the Ministry of Health and Population, Dr. Tanka Prasad Barakoti, Director General, Department of Health Services, Dr. Rajendra Sambhaji Rao Pandav, the WHO representative to Nepal, Mr. Ramesh Lana, multiple council chairpersons, Lions International, high-level officials of the Health and Population Ministry, as well as all the board members of Nepal Netra Jyoti Sangh, Tilganga Institute of Ophthalmology, Nepal Eye Hospital, BPI Foundation's Board of Trustees of International Agency for Prevention of Blindness, and all the delegates. In fact, a special mention to all the distinguished delegates and the office bearers of IAPB. Let's hear a round of applause for the very, very valued presence of all our distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, may I announce the arrival of our chief guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. K.P. Sharma Oli. a statesman, ladies and gentlemen, whose leadership has been pivotal to public health advancement here in Nepal, and whose presence here reaffirms that eye health is not a luxury, it is a right. Please stand tall and proud for the national anthem of Nepal.
Sayuthunga fulka हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौम भई फैलिएका मेची महाकाली सायुथुङ्गा फुलका हामी एउटै माला नेपाली सार्वभौम भई फैलिएका मेची महाकाली प्रकृतिका कोटि कोटि सम्पदाको आचला वीरहरूका राजधानी स्वतन्त्र अचला ज्ञान भूमि शान्ति भूमि तराई पहाड हिमाल अखण्ड यो प्यारो हाम्रो मातृभूमि नेपाल बहु जाति भाषा धर्म संस्कृति छ विशाल अग्रगामी राष्ट्र हाम्रो जय जय नेपाल.
Thank you, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, namaste and a very, very good morning to all of you. A special sense of gratitude to the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal, the Honourable Health Minister, also to all the distinguished dignitaries, global delegates, and friends. Welcome to this extraordinary city of Kathmandu this morning, where heritage meets hope, and where today we mark another milestone in the journey of 2030 Inside Life. Ladies and gentlemen, from Dubai to Singapore and then to Mexico and now to the heart of the Himalayas, IAPB's global movement arrives here in Nepal with, as you all know, a sense of purpose and urgency. As the global voice for eye health, IAPB unites over 250 organizations across 100 countries, all driven by one shared vision. That is, a world where no one lives with avoidable sight loss. We gather here today not only to reflect, but to reignite. And this is the halfway mark to 2030, as well as before we meet for the Global Summit. It's a time, certainly, for us to align, accelerate, and of course, to act. Whether you are a policymaker, a practitioner, an innovator, or advocate, this moment belongs to all, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear it for the fraternity and for all the great work that we have steered to this moment. Distinguished dignitaries, Nepal, home to some of the world's greatest eye health pioneers, reminds us of what's possible when bold leadership meets community faces. Let that spirit infuse every conversation under this roof until the 1st of May that we're here. Let it foster every connection and every commitment that we make over these few days. So welcome once again to Kathmandu. Welcome to the future of eye health. Welcome to Inside 2030 Live. And said that, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure now to invite someone whose vision, energy, and advocacy have powerfully propelled global conversations around equity, access, and ability. Please join your hands for the President of IAPB, Ms. Caroline Casse, for the welcome remarks.
First of all, namaste. Right Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Minister, distinguished guests, friends, our wonderful Ambassador Webson, and to all of you, to every single one of you, thank you for being here. Really, thank you. This is about all of us. Every single voice, every single action matters. There may be positions that are more important, but no life, no voice, no action is less than in this enormous, enormous task we have ahead. I really want to acknowledge, before I truly begin, all of the peoples that we do not see on the stage, the voices that we may not see or hear, because their work and their action has been as equally important as to getting us to this place. I please want you to recognize the invisible names and voices of all the people that help us be here, because their power and their energy and their oxygen is as equally important. So please, can we recognize all of the work of all of the people that we do not necessarily see? So that's me being formal. I hope it's okay to stand here. You all know, if you don't know me, that I am registered blind with ocular albinism, which allows me to be a bit of a troublemaker and come down off the stage and share with you from my heart why my legs are shaking. I also want to acknowledge all of our friends who are online, and I'm going to give an audio description for anybody like me who is vision impaired or low vision or blind. I am a white woman, I'm 53 years old and very proud. I've got blonde hair, I'm wearing big thick black glasses and a black suit with sparkly dots. It's like shining diamonds in the sky. They told me to be a little bit more formal today, so I'm trying to be formal, but I didn't want to offer the opportunity to also be here joyfully to be here. My legs are shaking, not because I'm nervous this time, and I'm sorry if I mess up, but because I'm so excited, so joyful in this moment that we are in together in this extraordinary country of Nepal. And I have to say, this is my 4th Insight Live. And as the president, it has always been an honor every year to come back and watch as we grow in courage and confidence and momentum. But I will remember my very first Insight Live in Dubai when I was calling out for radical collaboration. And I remember very particularly a group of individuals who made me feel so welcome as I was nervous. And it was Professor Pants and the Nepalese team who came to me and welcomed me with all of their hearts and their big smiles. And actually to be here in this country of collaboration, this country that has led with a fierce heart and commitment, a country that has led globally, one of our leaders in including eye health as primary health care, with unstoppable, fierce heart and vision. You are the leaders of that. You have proved we can make things happen with our hearts and with focus and with collaboration, not tearing each other apart. This country represents so much of what is good in the world, in a world which is very dark and bleak right now. So many people from around the world come to this beautiful land to have their dreams come true, to go and summit a massive mountain. This is a place where people come to achieve dreams and journeys, to maybe do what seems impossible. And we all come here to this beautiful land with our own dream. Our own dream. But we forget this is not the beginning. For decades, there are so many people who have worked endlessly and tirelessly to get us to this point, to our own base camp, And the reason that it is, you can feel the energy in this room. Listen, feel it. Because we know, truthfully in our hearts, if we're not worried about the obstacles and all the reasons that people say we can't, we know that we are on that very, very rare moment in a lifetime that together we can actually change something forever. For those of you who were with us in Mexico, we talked about galvanizing for a moment, for a global summit, to be aligned in the sand to which we would do a decade of action. And the world was very different then. It was very different. And yet, as we come to you here in April, I can't even express to you the momentum that has been built since Mexico. I looked at the diary this morning, and it is April the 30th. 1,000 days from now, I want you to write this date in your diary. It will be January the 25th, 2028. In 1,000 days from now, the IAPB will be 100 years old. So, maybe not exactly that date, so just forgive me, but in the year. But now I want you to think about this. Every now and again, in a centenary, you get a lifetime's chance to make change. In these next 1,000 days, as we campaign, as we go to summit, as we go to meetings with the World Bank, the World Health Organization, as we work with each other, whether it's through UNGA, through education, through sports, through popular culture, we will work to galvanize and campaign the world to see the unifying force of vision for all. Because we know, I'm not going to talk to you why it's so important, because we know it's important. But avoidable sight loss and vision is not just about the sight. It's about the freedom to live the life that you need to live, to be yourself, for potential and dreams, for our children to see their future, not just with their eyes, but with all the potential they have. This is a socio-economic issue. It is not political. We can prove in the next 1,000 days to the world what real collaboration means, what working together means, what's possible if we focus on what we can do together and not about politics and countries and borders and things that tear us apart, because we are all human beings. And every one of us, every one of you wants to live the life to your very best. And in this moment, I just want to say thank you for everything that you do in your very best. But as we do our best, we give permission to others. I want to say over the next few days, please be joyful. Please come into this room with joy. Come into this room with energy. Look in the eyes of the people that are with you. See those fierce, courageous hearts and the desire to do something. I want to be part of doing something, leaving a legacy. I just buried a grandson 7 weeks ago. It reminds you of the importance of life, of what we are here to do. So with joy, look at each other and work out how we can. We have a few really special moments over the next few days. So I just want to call out a few. We are going to be announcing this year's Young Leaders. And can I tell you, come to the session this evening at 3:15. Now, and that is the future. And can we just give a really big clap for all of the young energy that's coming? Young energy. We also have the launch of our new Vision Atlas, which is amazing because data is so important so that we can measure and track our success. And we also have the WHO Specs Nepal launch tomorrow as well, which is another big thing. So a big round of applause for that. And as I come to finish, I hope that you can sense my excitement, not just for this moment, but just being part of this family, being part of a place where you kind of feel like you belong. This sector, there's something about this sector that is so I don't know, it grabs you with a heart and it won't let you go. It won't let you go. So I just want to say 25 years ago, after I finally admitted that I had a visual impairment and that I had to accept that, and I came out of what I call the disability closet, I came to India and I became Mowgli from the Jungle Book. And I traveled 1,000 kilometers across India on an elephant and became an elephant handler. They called me Annapurna. I can speak some Malayalam, but it's elephant Malayalam. But all the way along with me, I had Ganesha. And I have Ganesha everywhere in my life because Ganesha is about removing obstacles. That's what it meant to me. That's what it meant to me. And I'm so proud I was the elephant girl. 25 years later, I stand here as president, of which it is a great honor. But I say to us in the moment, Ganesha is about removing the obstacles. The only obstacle in the way of us achieving our dream is our hearts and our intention. If people say no, tell them to get out of the way, because we are coming. 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 You don't need eyes to see, you just need vision. And we are coming. And there is no obstacle that our fierce hearts cannot overcome. So I ask you in these days, 3 things. Come to these days with a soft front. That is kindness and compassion and grace for each other. A strong back. All of the data and the work and the commitment and the science and the programs with a strong back. But I ask you to open your arms wide, wide for your wild heart's ambition. Thank you. Thank you, Nepal. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy.
And ladies and gentlemen, with a leader like that, somebody who infuses so much energy and spirit, we're bound or destined to make longer strides than we already have. Thank you so much, Ms. Cassie, for infusing so much spirit, enthusiasm, and encouragement. And as she puts it rightly, you know, IAPB almost reaching the 100 years mark, and I Care today, with all the concerted efforts and the great achievements that we've been making in our niches, I Care today no longer is merely a health service. It's a human right, an economic enabler, and a foundational part of inclusive development, what the entire globe is at the moment looking at. And as Ms. Cassie puts it, this convergence is a powerful reminder, as it has been, that global progress is grounded in local solutions. And ladies and gentlemen, Nepal is proud to play a vital role in shaping a future where everyone can see. And we only hope that we get away or go from Kathmandu with greater clarity in our missions and vision. Said that, ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed with the main formalities of the inaugural moment, let us take a moment to reflect on where we are and what has been achieved and what lies ahead in our shared mission. We present a short video capturing the spirit of 2030 inside and the transformative work that is happening in this part. May I draw your attention towards the screens placed before you. All right, maybe we can come to that later. I'm sure we'll be able to come to that later. With that put on hold for a bit, ladies and gentlemen, maybe we will have to get back to that energy a little later. Let's move on to one important formality, and let's do it in the truest of Nepali traditions. Ladies and gentlemen, in Nepal, light is considered very, very sacred, and it is symbolic. And today, as we mark the inauguration, the official inauguration of this convergence in Kathmandu, we light this ceremonial lamp, which you can see is placed right in front front of the stage. We honor the knowledge that drives change and the collective fire within us to make 2030 Insight not a slogan, but a lived reality. So please join me as I place my humble request to our Right Honourable Chief Guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, to kindly step forward and do the honours of officially inaugurating 2030 Insight Live, the Nepal episode. Ladies and gentlemen, with the lighting of the lamp, the 2030 Insight Live Nepal is officially open. And as I stated earlier, we have altered this scheduling of the events for the format inaugural session slightly. I extend on behalf of us all to the Right Honourable Prime Minister immense gratitude for gracing us today and doing the honours. And please note that there is a lot of, it's been a very eventful time for Nepal and especially the government. And the Right Honourable Prime Minister has to attend a very, very important meeting. And despite his very busy schedule, we are so indebted for his generosity and the sensitivity that he has bestowed by gracing us in these very, very inaugural moments. So ladies and gentlemen, now the voice of the nation echoing our vision to the world stage. It's my honor to invite our chief guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, Mr. KP Sharma Oli, to kindly address this forum.
Excellencies, distinguished delegates, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaste and a very warm welcome to Nepal. It is a privilege to open this distinguished gathering at a time of critical global reflection and determination. As we approach the 2030 milestone for the Sustainable Development Goals, the world stands at a crossroads, confronted by overlapping crises yet inspired by immense potential for innovation, equity, and transformation. It is therefore lifting that we convene here in Kathmandu, a city and culture shaped by centuries of resilience, vision, and hope, to consider the future of eye health in a world of rapid change. Today, we do not gather to speak of eye health in isolation, but to recognize it as a central force in shaping the broader arc of human development, from poverty reduction and education to gender equality and economic growth. Nepal's own journey reflects this truth. As a nation, deeply committed to the SDGs, we have made significant strides to ensure that no one is left behind, especially those at risk of losing their sight. In recent years, we have achieved key milestones. We completed the rapid assessment of avoidable blindness in 2022, creating a robust evidence base to guide our national priorities. Using this data, we set bold targets in our health sector, a strategic plan 2023 to 2030. including a commitment to double effective cataract surgical coverage from 35.4% to 70% by 2030. We know that ambition alone is not enough. We must pair this with integration and innovation. That is why Nepal endorsed a new national eye health strategy, prioritizing the integration of eye health into our primary healthcare system and essential services. Eye health is no longer seen as a vertical program. It is part of our public health infrastructure. We are committed to translating this into action. We have introduced school-based vision screening and launched a school nurse program that includes eye health as a core component of student well-being, advancing both gender equality and access to education in line with SDGs 4 and 5. We have conducted a nationwide assessment using the WHO SAT-2 tool and are now integrating eye health into our national health insurance program, reducing financial barriers and increasing quality of access. Most critically, we are embedding eye health indicators into our national health management information system, making it a core metric of progress. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not small efforts. They are part of a larger recognition that eye health is development. Without clear sight, a child may drop out of school. A parent may be unable to care for their family, placing the burden onto others. An elder may lose independence. A worker may lose livelihood. These realities ripple across our economy, our education system, and our communities. Eye health directly and indirectly impacts across most of the Sustainable Development Goals, from ending poverty and hunger to reducing inequalities and promoting climate resilience. In Nepal, we have included eye health in our voluntary national review for precisely this reason. We see the evidence, we see the urgency, and that which gets measured gets done. We also see the opportunity. The eye health sector is rich with innovation, from new diagnostics and treatment delivery models to partnerships that bridge health, technology, and development. But we must do more to scale and sustain these innovations where they are needed most. We must also ensure that these efforts are inclusive. Let Think Gathering reaffirm our collective commitment to equity and to ensuring that vision is a right, not a privilege. But Nepal cannot walk this path alone, nor can any country. This is why the world must come together, not in words, but in unity, action, and shared responsibility. And so, today, I am proud to reaffirm Nepal's full support for the 2026 Global Summit for Eye Health. This summit will serve as a vital platform to galvanize global and national action to end avoidable sight loss, and ensure that everyone, everywhere, has access to quality eye care. With attention and resources being pulled in every direction, we are conscious that efforts need to be reduced in order that we don't lose this golden opportunity to develop this agenda and ensure eye health remain a priority. Nepal is committed to being part of this journey. We will contribute our experiences, our partnerships, and our political will to support the success of this global movement. Excellencies, friends, as we look to the decade ahead and the final stage towards the Sustainable Development Goals, we are called to a greater ambition to match our promises with action and our shared values with lasting results. The path to 2030 may be complex, but our direction is clear. Let us work together to realize a world where every person, regardless of income, geography, age, or gender, can access the eye care they need to thrive. Nepal stands ready to collaborate, to learn, and to lead. Together, let us make 2030 not just a deadline, but a turning point towards a future that is more inclusive, more equitable, and more visible. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Prime Minister, for your great leadership and, of course, for reiterating your commitment to health equity. Thank you so much for gracing us at this very, very august occasion, which only adds impetus to our journey together. Said that, ladies and gentlemen, they say a token of gratitude speaks volume, even in silence. So we now take a moment to extend our bit of gratitude and appreciation to the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal, who's our chief guest this morning, for all the great enthusiasm, the leadership, the commitment, and the great spirit that he has helped invoke in our journey together. Said that, may I now invite our president from IAPB, Ms. Caroline Casse, to present this special token of gratitude and appreciation to our chief guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister. Right Honourable Prime Minister, this is coming from the entire IAPB family in respect and gratitude for your great commitment and leadership. Now, this leads us to a moment wherein we want to capture some really, really important memories from this forum. The Right Honourable Prime Minister, may I apprise to you, we have this very interesting piece that's put on your table. If Oli Barrett, if you could kindly steer us through this. Right.
Thank you very much, Shivani. Well, I think we have the image we've been waiting for already. We have a powerful phrase across the IAPB, love your eyes. And with that, we ask you to don your Love Your Eyes glasses so we can capture this moment together. We have another tradition, which is, as well as capturing honoured guests in their Love Your Eyes glasses, Shivani, please, as well. As well as capturing honoured guests, we ask a whole audience to do it so that we can get a group photo with our photographer on the stage. And I wouldn't be doing my job as MC if I didn't cheekily but honourably wonder if the Prime Minister would grace us either by witnessing the group photo or even joining us in the group, sir. It would be a huge honour. Thank you. If everyone would be upstanding in your Love Your Eyes spectacles, I think. Oh, a little bit of both. I've double layered mine. No, if you wouldn't mind, yeah. Prime Minister, would you mind joining the group photo? Thank you, sir. Yes, please. Please, Caroline, lead the way. Yeah, lead the way, lead the way. Thank you. Okay. Very graciously, the Prime Minister will join our group photo. Perhaps a round of applause for that. Thank you. And honoured guests, feel free to come down into the front row as we prepare. There we are. Fantastic. Yeah, of course you can. Of course you can. Yes, of course you can, Caroline. Yeah, no, it's okay. I've got a spare. Yeah, I'll join in. Okay. We'll get our official photographers on the stage. Is everybody? Oh, sir. What an honor. Here we are, sir. What an honor. Thank you. Okay, and if everyone can say after me, love your eyes. 1, 2, 3, love your eyes. And a huge round of applause for our whole international community. Well, with that momentous group shot, everybody, why don't we say a final thank you, Shivani. I'll put us back into your hands, but I couldn't say enough how grateful we are to the Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal for joining us in that momentous moment. A photo that I think will be shared around the world. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Uli. Thank you so much. And we also take a moment one more time to extend our gratitude to the Right Honourable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we request all of you to kindly be seated as I will be steering you back to our regular schedule. For now, I announce the departure of our chief guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister. A great sport that he has been all the while, inspiring people, great spirits and enthusiasm. And you already heard from the Right Honourable Prime Minister his commitment towards the great chase that we are making with our goal approaching nearer by the day. 2030 it is, ladies and gentlemen. And we stakeholders are very much aware of the commitment of governments, the stakeholder communities, especially the local endeavors, towards adding all the impetus and synergy that we need for us to rightfully achieve the goal that we're headed for. Therefore, we're very much gratified for this very, very distinguished presence of the high dignitaries of Nepal, as well as from the various governments and entities represented at the IAPB. And this marks the departure of our chief guest, the Right Honourable Prime Minister. Ladies and gentlemen. May I now invite back the Honourable Minister for Health, Mr. Pradeep Paudel, along with other dignitaries to kindly grace the stage. May I invite the Honourable Minister, Ms. Cassie, and the rest of the dignitaries up on stage, please. Dr. Ruid, and all the dignitaries at the dais, as now we get back to our regular schedule. So, thank you. Okay, so this gets us set for the rest of the formalities, which, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, is very pivotal for setting the tone of the very important engagements that are spread across the 3 days beginning today that we're here until the 1st of May. And we already know the importance of the engagements one-to-one between entities and and how important the takeaways would be. So this inaugural is certainly the moment which sets the tone and the ambience for us to reap some food, reap some spirit, and to guide the conversations and the activities that have been so meticulously designed and tailored for the purpose that we're here to serve. So said that, let's add to the momentum, and now I get set to pass the microphone to those individuals, to those stalwarts, the champions, the pioneers who have been there, done it, set the example, set the track for us to tread on, but still are holding tight and, you know, doing their bit because although we've come a long way, there's still a long way to go. And said that, ladies and gentlemen, let us turn to the people who have brought the phrase restoring sight to life across the mountains, deserts, refugee camps, war zones, and whatnot. Each of them here who will be speaking henceforth is a chapter in themselves and a chapter in the story of global eye health. Their work, legendary. Their passion, contagious. I'm sure you'll agree with me. So first and foremost, join me as I welcome the person, the individual, the legend who Nepal is so proud of, the man whose surgical scalpel has rewritten lives across the Himalayas and beyond. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, the Executive Director of Khadga Institute of Ophthalmology, Professor Dr. Sanduk Ruit.
Very good morning and namaste. Honourable Minister of Health, President of IAPB, Babar, and Professor Madan Upadhyay, Dr. Pant, Dr. Pokhrel, Peter, Secretary of Ministry of Health, and many delegates here who have come and joined us from all over the world. And I really like to welcome you to this beautiful country. We, in 2019, Khadga received the certification of WHO Collaborating Center from the same Prime Minister who just left. And I'd like to let you know that that was an extremely proud moment for us. And our board in Khadga, our executives, our staffs, have, over the period of time, hours, days, months, and years, worked extremely relentlessly for a common goal, a vision, to provide comprehensive, inclusive, quality, and sustainable eye care with roots in the community. That was our common goal. And I take great pride in these people that I work with. I take pride in their skill, in their attitude, in their body language. It has been a wonderful many decades of working together with my colleague Rita and everybody else in Khadga. I think it was, we started from scratch to this, what we are now. And I also want to let the Honourable Minister, the Secretary of Ministry of Health here to know that it's not very difficult to bring in hospital structures, infrastructures. But I think most difficult is the human resources. I always call the hardware is not very difficult, but it's the software which really gives you the impact, impetus, and the drive. So I think it's very important that the management of the software is extremely important. And in Nepal, we, along with many other stakeholders who have done tremendously fantastic work, have been able to, in the few decades, change the landscape of ophthalmology in a positive direction. One instance was Khadga directly getting involved in reinventing small incision cataract surgery, from the offices of Jerusalem to the communities, and we made it appropriately useful as a public health tool in the communities, and appropriating it to be integrated into the surgical delivery system, which helped to increase the cataract surgical coverage, cataract surgical rate, efficiency in many countries worldwide. And we also were one of the pioneers in this region to produce high quality, affordable intraocular lens, which was something that we could not think of having when we started with modern cataract surgery way back 3 decades ago. And to structure cataract surgically delivery system and refractive error delivery system, and subsequently develop subspecialty, which was useful for the community. The other thing that we did very successfully was cost recovery. By instituting a pricing tier for the patients, we were successful in sustainability. And this model has worked very well, but it's important that we need to deliver good quality. Quality has to be sustainable, it has to be user-friendly, and there has to be commitment from the team and lots of good counseling. But cost recovery is extremely important in the next phase of our development in ophthalmology. And then we started scaling up our model beyond the boundaries to other countries, where we were received with affection and with lots of love, because our model was effective, it was very steady, and it functioned very well in many other countries. We are continuing to do that. Yeah. Thereby, we started to contribute to both national and global health. We continue to come out with impactful innovations and training programs for surgical skills, refractive error, for many other processes. Now, at this time, I like to mention TIO's, Khadga Institute of Ophthalmologists, two formidable partners. The Himalayan Cataract Project, which now has become Cure Blindness, and the Fred Hollows Foundation. Two of our formidable partners. Interesting, we started about the same time, 3 decades ago. And very soon, in the next few days, the Himalayan Cataract Project is going to have its 30th anniversary. And Jeff, Katie, and we all will be celebrating it. Please come and join us. Khadga's journey is more than a story of medical success. It is a narrative of hope, resilience, and profound impact to service of humanity. And before I conclude, I'd like to thank all the delegates here who have come from all over the world, and to IIPB for choosing Nepal as a venue. And just to let you know that if we have done the least, we have made Nepal self-reliant on intraocular lens and corneal tissues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Rued, for your invaluable words and the great efforts that you've been leading. Ladies and gentlemen, our speakers for a few moments now represent the hosts who have put in a lot of passion, hard work, and love to tailoring this event here in Kathmandu. Next, our next speaker is a leader of one of Nepal's most historic eye institutions. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of Nepal Eye Hospital, Dr. Gopal Prasad Pokren.
Namaste everybody and welcome to Nepal. Honourable Minister of Health, IAPB President, CEO of IAPB, Health Secretary, Dr. Vikas Depkota, Dr. Babar Qureshi, an old friend from almost 3 decades who is here, and head of different Nepal Eye Hospitals and co-hosts. Nepal Eye Hospital is proud to co-host this event, and part of the program. Nepal Eye Hospital is a 50-year-old hospital and is the oldest one in the country. Eye care services in last 4.5 decades have expanded rapidly throughout Nepal, implementing the new innovation and technologies which are suitable for Nepal. We in Nepal, when we meet our friends from outside the world, hear a lot of congratulatory words. Maybe we deserve that, but the work is still substantial, which is not yet done. If I may speak out and be a little critical of our own success, only 50% of our districts have permanent surgical facilities for eye care. That is only 50% of the work done. Sometimes numbers are deceptive. We perform more than 300,000 eye surgeries per year, but still our coverage is only about 60%. So this cataract blindness is still a challenge in front of us. And what are the new challenges which we have to face in the coming year? Refractive error is near and dear to me because I have worked in that field for more than 25 years. We have seen that myopia is increasing in Nepal. We did a study way back in 2007 when we found even in the private schools of Kathmandu, it was about 7%. Now we go to community schools, we find that the prevalence has gone up to 15%. It will not be far behind like the Asia-Pacific countries where the myopia is highly prevalent. That situation is bound to come to Nepal also, and we have to be prepared for that. What are the emerging challenges which we have to face in the coming days is hypertension-related eye diseases, diabetic retinopathy, ARMD, and believe it or not, ROP, retinopathy of maturity. Everybody say, oh, Nepal is an underdeveloped country. The 1.5 kilogram birth weight baby will not survive, so there is no ROP. But now these infants are surviving and they are ending up with ROP with a very little effort from us to screen them and treat them in time. So this will be a big challenge which will be in front of us. On behalf of Nepal Eye Hospital, I like to thank IAPB and wish the success of IAPB 2030 Live, and thank you all for your great participation and actively engaging with each other. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed for your very valuable words. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now hear from a stalwart who built bridges between communities and care system. Please welcome the chairman of Nepal Netra Jyoti Sangh and who's also the AIPB board member, Professor Dr. Chetraj Panta.
Namaste. Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal, who just left, Honourable Minister of Health and Population, Mr. Pradeep Paudilji, His Excellency UN Ambassador, Mr. Watson, and Ms. Caroline Cachet, President of the International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, Babar Qureshi, Chairman of IAPB, Peter Holland, Chief Executive Officer of IAPB, Professor Dr. Madan Prasad Upadhyay, he is the Professor of Emeritus in the BPI Foundation, Dr. Sanduik Ruit, Executive Director of Telangana Institute of Ophthalmology, Dr. Gopal Prasad Pokhrel, who is the Chairman of the Nepal Our Hospital, and all of our distinguished guests, friends, and partners. First of all, I would like to express my deep gratitude to the delegates attending this event from across the world, including Nepal. Thank you very much for coming in our beautiful country and joining this event. I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. A special thanks to IAPB for organizing such a remarkable event in Nepal. During these 3 days, we will share stories of our achievements, lessons learned, collective strategy to transform eye care service delivery across the world. I am pleased to share that we have reduced the blindness rate in Nepal to 0.28%, down from the 0.84% in 1981. Our goal is to further lower this to 0.2% by the year 2030. We hope this conference will provide the insights necessary to solidify our commitments, clarify our actions to achieve this real goal. I encourage to all of us to learn, exchange knowledge, build connections, strengthen our dedication to making a difference in the world during this event. I am pleased to share that with the extraordinary efforts of Nepal Netra Jyoti Sangh and other partners, including the government of Nepal, we have successfully eliminated blindness caused by trachoma and vitamin A deficiency. In response to these findings of the RAP survey, which identifies cataract, refractory loss, glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, and age-related macular degeneration is major cause of blindness. Now we are engaged to prioritize our efforts to further reduce blindness caused by these conditions. Nepal Netra Jyoti Sangh has also significantly contributed by ensuring that eye care services are accessible to all, even in remote regions, through the network of our 28 eye hospitals and 224 eye care centers and 45 district branches and a network of more than 5,000 volunteers. While we have made significant progress in the eye care sector globally under the guidance of IAPB, there are still several challenges. For example, WHO predicts that by 2050, half of the global population will be short-sighted. I hope we will figure out some ways to combat this challenge during 3 days. I am confident that global meeting will inspire and empower us to achieve IAPB targets within the next 5 years. Once again, I sincerely thank all of you for coming to Nepal and participating to this event. Thank you, IAPB, for providing us such opportunity to host remarkable event in Nepal. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed for your very insightful and warm words. Ladies and gentlemen, and now all the way from the heart of IAPB's leadership to share his global outlook and the strategic insights, please welcome along with me the CEO himself, Mr. Peter Holdan.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, distinguished guests, Namaste. Male Nepal Our yesh karyakram ma bag lina pada kushi lageko cha. Nepal ko anka swastia ko itihash utharanya cha. Nepal ra IPB ko sambanta pani derai gahancha. Hal biswo biapi rupma Anka sewama sahayog paraodai ayaka derai IPB ka sadyashe arule anka sewako karyakram Nepal bata suru gareka tie. Tieskaran malayesh IPB ko Antarashtriya Sammelan 2030 Insight Live ko Udgarten Garna Pauda Dere Garaunwit Bayeko Chu. Forgive my Nepali. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here and that we're holding to this year's 2030 Insight Live here in Kathmandu. It's my first visit here, and I confess that's particularly why I'm so pleased that we're here. We've heard already from the previous speakers that Nepal, of course, has a really proud history of eye health, and IAPB has a really proud history with Nepal. You're an extraordinary example to the world, and we've heard how eye health is really integrated across your system, and how it's also been a really successful example of public-private partnership. We've got more than a dozen IAPB members here engaged in delivering eye care services under the aegis of the Ministry of Health and Population of Nepal. And as we heard from Professor Pant, you've delivered extraordinary results. Since 1980, the prevalence of blindness in Nepal has dropped by almost 4 times, as we heard. And of course, Nepal is a champion of eye health on the global stage. Leaders from Nepal have partnered with us at the World Health Organization and at the United Nations to make the case that universal eye health is critical to the Sustainable Development Goals. And I think we've seen that leadership reflected today, and we're incredibly honoured that the Prime Minister, the Honourable KP Oli, and the Minister of Health, Honourable Pradeep Paudel, and senior officials from the ministries and from the World Health Organization are with us. I think that really reflects the leadership that Nepal and the commitment that Nepal has on eye health. I'm very much looking forward to the next 2 days. Once again, we've got an incredibly diverse group of speakers and panelists. Caroline, I think you said there are more than 150 speakers. I'd particularly like to welcome 2 plenary speakers from outside the sector, Akramul Islam from BRAC and Lena Emanuel from Brainsight, and to welcome back our great friend, Ambassador Aubrey Webson. And finally, I'd like warmly to thank our co-hosts, without whom we wouldn't and couldn't be here. Nepal Netra Jyoti Sang, Tilganga Institute of Ophthalmology, Nepal Eye Hospital, and BP Eye Foundation. And of course, I want to thank all of you. It's fantastic to have the auditorium absolutely packed. I invite you to be ambitious, ask questions, connect to new people, and of course, have a fantastic time. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
धेरै धन्यवाद, Mr. Peter Holland. Thank you so much. So these were opening statements from the host, ladies and gentlemen. And now we turn to the National Health Equity Champion here in Nepal. Please join me as I humbly request the Honourable Minister for Health and Population, Mr. Pradeep Paudel, to make his statements.
Namaste, Chief Guest, Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal, just left this program. President, International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, IAPB, Ms. Caroline. Chairman, International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness, Dr. Barbar. Professor Dr. Chitraj Panta, Professor Dr. Sanduk Rohit, Professor Dr. Gopal Prasad Pokhrel, Professor Dr. Madan Prasad Upadhyay, Honourable delegates, distinguished guests, friends and partners, and friends from media. On behalf of the Ministry of Health and Population, I warmly welcome you all to Kathmandu for Insight Live 2030. This is an important moment as we reach the halfway point of the 2030 Insight strategy and work together global eye health targets. Nepal has a proud history in eye care, mainly innovative approaches started here, from community outreach to strong hospital network. But challenges remain: urbanization, aging, and lifestyle changes are increasing the demands for eye health services. The margin of blindness in Southeast Asia is still high. Nepal is committed to change eye health is part of our national health policy since 2019. We endorsed the WHO World Report on Vision and launched our National Eye Health Strategy in 2023. The 2022 survey showed that blindness has declined from 0.84% in 1981 to 0.28% today. We have also seen big improvement in cataract surgery coverage. Our goal is to reach 65.4% by 2030. We are expanding access through public-private partnership and our social health protection program, which now covers cataract surgery. We are also using WHO's tools to access our system and develop an action plan to 2030. Nepal supports the 2030 Insight strategy, especially its focus on making eye health a key development issue, integrating it into national health system, and building a strong partnership in school, workplace, and communities. We are proud to host the launch of WHO Specs 2030 and contribute a national segment. These tools will help countries set goals and track progress. Resolutions like the UN Vision for Everyone are important, but we must follow them with real action, policy, funding, and inclusive programs. We also strongly support the idea of a global summit on eye health in 2026 to move forward together. I would like to thank our global and domestic partners, especially IAPB, Tilganga, NNJS, and all eye health workers in Nepal for their dedication. Let Kathmandu be the place where we move from vision to action and ensure everyone has access to eye care. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, Honourable Minister, for your very invaluable words, your great leadership, and thank you for gracing us at this very, very important juncture. May I now invite the IAPB President, Ms. Cassie, to kindly make a presentation of this token from the IAPB family to the Honourable Minister in appreciation rather, for his invaluable support, cooperation, and the great gesture that he has just reflected in front of this distinguished audience. Thank you, Honourable Minister. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, words matter, we know, but so do those who weave them with wisdom. Now, to offer our heartfelt appreciation at these very, very concluding moments of the inaugural ceremony, and to officially conclude this opening, I now invite the deeply respected Chairman Emeritus of BPI Foundation, Professor Dr. Madan Prasad Upadhyaya.
Thank you. Yeah. Your vibration out there, some mic ma. Hey, yeah, basa on Thank you. Okay. Good morning. I have been given the pleasant task of thanking everybody, and I enjoy that. The reason I do that, it's like a pudding, always comes at the end. And secondly, it wakes up those who have been sleeping, knowing that this is the end of this gathering at this time. So thank you very much for that. And much of my task has been actually done during the welcome address. All of you have been thanked. Nonetheless, I still want to do that as a formal action. The Honourable Prime Minister, the Honourable Minister, we were expecting 2 other ministers, but unfortunately they couldn't be here. The Secretary of Health, with a long years of experience, and has recently taken up the helm of the Secretariat part of the government, and Dr. Krishna, who is the planning chief, dignitaries on the dais, members of IAPB, participants, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to use this event for a slightly different, and I'll deviate from the usual process. We have, among all of you, that I have mentioned, a very distinguished person, a centenarian who has been not only a health leader, but also a founder member and led many non-profit organizations in the country. Name it, and he's there, including Nepal Red Cross Society. He is no other than Dr. Gauri Shankar Lal Das. He is the founding member of several organizations, including BPI Foundation, and you will be pleased to hear that
He is currently the president of BPI Foundation. I just wanted to request for applause, but then you have given him that already. And of course, where is Shivani? Lovely Shivani, lovely voice. I would be doing a crime if I didn't mention you particularly. And I am also aware that there are people who are working behind the scene, people who are backroom operators, neither visible nor audible. So I'd like to thank them also, not knowing who they are. Well, so much for that formal task. That with the pleasantries over, back to business. So the business now, to talk about that, I would like to begin with the time when I joined the Ministry of Health as a young medical officer. That was in 1960s. Many of you may not have been born. Some of you must be my contemporary, and a few may be my seniors, like Dr. Das. What was the condition at that time in 1960s? You heard about successes, but history tells you something that would be interesting. In 1960s, when I joined the ministry, Beer Hospital, we had only one eye department in the whole country, serving a population of 10 million at that time. And that only eye department was run by only one ophthalmologist in the country. And he was shuttling between eye and ENT. So that was the condition then. And common diseases. Interesting, I would like to mention that trachoma was even in Kathmandu, although Nepalganj area supposed to, an area around 100 kilometers is supposed to be the epicenter. And cataract surgeries, few cataract surgeries were done. Intraocular lenses were not available at that time. So that was the kind of situation that I grew up with. Now, what is it now? Again, this job has been made simple and easy for me by previous speakers as to where Nepal stands today. With particularly national and international support, Nepal today has, and this has not been mentioned, 100 eye hospitals of different kinds, and hundreds of eye centers all over districts, but many of them confined to district headquarters. For those of you who are not familiar with the geography of Nepal, Robert McNamara, the World Bank president, said Nepal is a geographic mistake. And we have to, mobile eye camps are quite frequent in Nepal. This is one of the good things actually. Many tertiary centers confine themselves to their own boundaries. And we do lots of camps, and we have to trek, and the surgical materials have to be carried on the back of a mule. So, and some of it still remains. So we, with that kind of thing, and again you heard about success blindness rate being reduced to 0.35. Another thing is the country, which was dependent on foreign countries for training its human resources, today trains its own human resources from graduates, postgraduates, fellows, all along, and also pays its debt back to the countries who helped us by training their students. Now, you may be wondering, oh, this guy is telling me a fairy tale. How can, in a country with one doctor now have 500, have 100 of one department, eye to 100 eye hospitals. I think if for some of you, those who are curious, this happened because several events happened in the country during that time. I will enumerate some of those. The 1970s in Nepal, and I'll come back to that globally, was a very significant year. And I will explain why that is so. In 1972, Nepal's first eye hospital was established. Same year, Nepal's first Institute of Medicine was established. Although that was coincidental, together they have contributed significantly to development of eye care in Nepal. And subsequently, around towards the late 70s, Nepal Prevention and Control of Blindness program came into existence with the great support of organizations like SEVA. And SEVA was the pioneer one in that case at that time. And in Nepal blindness survey preparation was going on. Giraffe Thalma survey, that's vitamin A deficiency survey, it was mentioned that vitamin A deficiency and trachoma have literally disappeared from the country. And so this was the time when the whole process began. And also, one thing that happened, and you may be curious to know, as we were 50 years ago, we came across a disease which we'd never seen. I've been trained in good institutions in the world and have good experience of working in Nepal. And we hadn't seen that until 1975. We were talking still about 1970s. And that disease affected mostly children, appearing suddenly. Subsequently, with research and all, we found that this was associated with contact with moths. And most of these eyes were shrunken, blind in those days. So anyway, now we know that this is caused by a moth. This is a disease which still holds some place in mystery of eye care and ophthalmology. And some work has been done by various people here present in this hall, among our Nepali colleagues and international colleagues. And some of you will have this opportunity to see that being displayed at the poster. I don't know the poster room. And do take time to visit that when during lunch break or at any time that you are free. Now, with these events happening within the country, there's another event brewing and taking place in the world. with the initiative of late Sir John Wilson, the founder of IAPB in 1975. I was rather confused a bit when I heard there was 100 years of IAPB. Then I corrected myself. No, it's after some years, he must have said, because I have some problem with the hearing as well. So, anyway, that was Sir John Wilson was the founding chairman, and World Health Organization, Dr. Panda will be happy to hear, was one of the founding members of WHO. And ever since, actually, WHO and IAPB have worked together, hand in hand. IAPB's regional offices coincide exactly with that of WHO. So that's the kind of hand-in-glove relationship between WHO and IAPB. Anyway, again, that thanking process has gone for so much that I would now like to. You must be tired, no? Everybody's thanking, everybody's thanking. Having said what we have done, and of course it may sound a cliche, time has not come for us to rest on all our rails, something like that. It has actually not come for us to rest on all our rails, because having seen and been through the past, I can, to a fair degree of accuracy, see the future. Again, for a man, an octogenarian, why does he need to see the future? Look back. That's what some people tell me. Anyway, because what's now happened is trachoma, vitamin A deficiency, other infective conditions like onchocerciasis, when you talk in global terms, have been easy ones to eliminate because they were visible. Secondly, they were amenable to simple public health interventions, water, food. Those were the kinds of illnesses and were easy to deal with. Of course, everything looks easy when the difficult part is over. Now, vitamin A deficiency is eliminated, trachoma is eliminated. It's nice to hear that. Now the diseases have migrated to the back of the eye, as if to hide from our direct sight. Look at the common causes of blindness today: diabetic retinopathy, retinal vascular accidents, glaucoma, and all that. I mean, I don't want to elaborate further. And they are not easily visible. They are not easily amenable to public health interventions by grassroots workers. Of course, the grassroots workers do have a role in that. And so, how do we deal with that? There, I think, we need to take a different kind of approach than what we have been done, and move away from the current fragmented practice of eye diseases. Somebody talks of glaucoma. If you talk to somebody here, if he's an ophthalmologist, he will say, oh, I'm an ophthalmologist, but vitreoretinal specialist. Someone else says, oh, I'm a glaucoma specialist. Oh, I'm cornea specialist. It's all fragmented. What we need to do is to integrate. And this integration of these difficult diseases, because unlike the anterior segment diseases, these difficult diseases require the expertise of a highly trained ophthalmologist. He needs to be supported by high-end equipments and highly trained staff. Now look, imagine how the cost of that will rise up and maybe come beyond the capacity of ordinary people. Together with that, I think both the Prime Minister and Health Minister mentioned about dwindling resources. Now, this has all happened. We are called upon to spend more money when we have to do more with the less. We are not going to, we don't have enough. And this is even going to decline in future. So that's a difficult issue that we need to keep in mind. Yes, a mistake has been committed. I tell you why. One should never give alcohol to an alcoholic and give microphone to a retired professor. I thought I had bribed you when I thanked you earlier. Anyway, there are some problems, basically. I'll quickly sum up. Problems are, and their problems will always be there. Problems are access to care. 40%, 60% of the population is still not being covered by effective eye health. And there are problems with human resources. Again, you heard about that, so I don't need to say much. What was the other problem? Rehabilitation, something close to my heart. Because many of you have seen me being helped to climb the steps, and I'll need the same help when I go back. So, our rehabilitation, this is for people with blindness. We have taken care of low vision. You know, many people may have low vision, but for no vision, there are people who have no vision. The rehabilitation part is weak, so that would need to be taken care. And lastly, climate change. If we don't talk about climate change in any gathering, we are not concerned about our own lives, because climate change is a threat to humanity and to the planet. Again, I have also been reminded, so I need to wind up. I would like to request IAPB leadership to have sessions in effect of climate change on global eye health. Thank you.
If passion and dedication had a face, it would be Professor Dr. Upadhyay. Thank you so much, sir. It was so inspiring to be listening to you. I just wish there was not something called time. I just wish. Thank you, sir. It was indeed inspiring. And the beauty of forums like this is this brings, all these passions together. And I'm sure we'll find ample time in between and in all the engagements that we have tailored to have these engagements no more from the little that we could hear from Professor Dr. Upadhyay. Thank you indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we head forth towards calling it a wrap from this inaugural session. One more time, allow me this quick opportunity to thank our Honourable Minister, for gracing us today, for his great enthusiasm and the great gesture that you have bestowed to the forum. Thank you indeed, sir. To all the high dignitaries who have graced this forum, and for all the support that you have extended to us in the build-up to this and for the cause that we are here. Said that, ladies and gentlemen, let us carry forth the spirit of innovation, inclusion, and vision as we move forward to the working sessions. And as I call it a wrap, may I invite our dignitaries to kindly step forward for a quick group photograph. And for me, it's time to add and bring in the crowd favorite, the energy that we so need for the rest of the following days that we're here. Please welcome, as I hand over this floor to Mr. Oli Barrett, right? And as a quick tip that I would want to lend, while in Kathmandu, trust your eyes, but follow your nose. Good food around. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you. Well, we will ask our honoured guests to step down from the stage, but perhaps a vote of appreciation for the brilliant Shivani Thapa, everybody. Thank you, Shivani. The good news is, honoured guests, we have captured our photos of you in our earlier session, so we'll give you a huge round of applause as you leave the stage. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, everybody.